locked in the lock.
Earlier, and we've had thunderstorm after thunderstorm come across. This is going just north of us. Not sure if you can see it on the camera. I think we were all terrified earlier coming in here, but lightning strike very close to the boat. It's probably the last one of these Anchorage videos. This is Deltaville, end of the road for us. It's Jackson Creek Marina, and behind it Deltaville Boatyard, where we're going to haul out in a week or so. And here we are anchored in Jackson Creek, Virginia, USA. Came in here in a huge thunderstorm yesterday. It's well protected, nice and flat. There's the Chesapeake Bay out there. But a lovely little spot, our home for the next couple of weeks.
When one job leads to another, Andrew had to replace the pipe. You see that shiny white pipe there that was blocked with toilet paper, and so Andrew had to fix that, take the old pipe away off, put the new one on. Messy job. Ugh. And then he fixed, it was leaking somewhere down here. Once you open these things, apparently they leak. And then he discovered that there was a rusty piece of metal that was prevented leaking happening here. Those are our seacocks. And so he took the basin off and took the shower head off, and he's reset the sink, which was fantastic because it was loose and it was always, yeah, it was just not lacquer. And so yeah, that's how one job leads to another on this boat.
Happy 4th of July. It's the US Independence Day, and here in Deltaville, local folk have all congregated on the little beach in Sandy Spit, the entrance to the bay. Normally there are 1 or 2 boats every day, and now there are loads. Gorgeous day here for Independence Day. So, guys are having fun. I'm sure lots of beer is being consumed.
Getting quite good at driving on the right side of the road, the wrong side for us. Now, if you did this in South Africa, with your phone being out the window, you would, it would be stolen. Right. Sailmakers don't have a sail bag, like a one made out of sails. Too expensive.
expensive, this. It's our last Saturday night in the United States. Jackson Creek. Sun setting. It's after 8 o'clock at night. Anchorage is nice and flat. Oof, we've had, I don't know what that bang was. We've had a lot of rain over the last 24 hours and it's a glorious evening. A couple of boats next to us in the anchorage. The locals coming in from fishing, partying on the beach. It's been nice here. We haul out in a day or two and then fly home.
On Friday, but the weather wasn't good. We're hauling out today on the small lift. Hopefully we can fit. I didn't think we would, but all they're doing is dragging us with.
She's flying yet again. Also on the move.
So we are on our second last night here in Deltaville. On the hard, I'll show you in a minute. And for the last few nights we've been reflecting on how things have gone this past season. So here is Laura to tell you about her highs. Hello, Laura.
Hi.
Okay, Laura, so the other night we talked about our talked about our highs, our high highs and our low lows. So first tell me, what was your favorite thing that we did this past season?
We went to Orlando, Florida, and we went to all the parks. Well, not all the parks, some of the parks, 4 parks, and do some rides, do some Harry Potters, and do some snorkeling. There's some snorkeling. And my lows.
And your lows, what were your lows?
My lows was all the thunderstorms. That was scary.
Okay, and tell me, what are you looking forward to in the next couple of months?
My friends, Matt's wedding, and Kay's wedding.
Matt and Kay's wedding, yeah.
Yeah. And going to bake again, see everybody.
Okay, here's the skipper, Andrew,
Cheers.
who got us safely all the way from Trinidad, all the way, how many miles?
2,800 odd nautical miles.
And we have done 10,000
700.
nautical miles since leaving home. So 2,800 nautical miles in about 6-7 months.
8 months.
8 months is quite far, quite quick, hopping from one place to another. So Andrew,
Yes.
can you please tell me what were your highs and lows
Difficult
this
question.
season?
Difficult question. Let's start with the lows. So the lows were, we chatted about them the other night and I've forgotten about them. I know Calabash Bay. We went there with a westerly blowing, and it's a shocking anchorage in the westerly, but we had no choice, and we had 2-meter waves over the bow at anchor, and it was hectic. Boat next to us almost wound up on the beach. The anchor rod broke, and we didn't get a lot of sleep. So that was one of the lows. Remind me what the other lows I spoke about.
Let's think about what they were. We had them in order. Thunderstorms.
Yeah, the thunderstorms have been something else. Being a Cape Town boy, we don't get thunderstorms like that. Lightning is something that is terrifying, because if you get hit, you can sink a boat, but it can take out all your electronics. And coming into Deltaville, we came through a particularly big storm, and there were lightning strikes right next to the boat. Fortunately on the water, that was particularly terrifying. We also had a microburst on our mooring ball in Titusville. After we came back from Orlando, it was a Sunday afternoon, and we were on the boat, and we knew storms were coming through. Next thing, we saw 76 knots. And not from the bow, but on the side. So it smashed a solar panel. That was particularly not lekker. What are the other lows? What are the other lows we discussed?
Okay, well, while we're thinking about the other lows, tell me about the highs. The highs of the season. What's been good this season? Sorry, we're smacking mozzies here as
the lows getting munched by bugs. We've been actually very lucky as far as the bugs go. You can, depending on when you come up the ICW, you can run into green-headed flies that bite, mosquitoes that bite, no-see-ums, which you literally can't see, that have got teeth the size of nothing, but they bite like mad. But the highs, the season was sort of like in 3 parts. The first part was getting from Trini up to the Bahamas, and so the first couple of months we spent with Gumbar and Faye and Ian, and that was good fun. Christmas and New Year with them, and it was in places we'd sailed before, which is always very nice. So you know what to do, what to expect, where to go, and all those good things. Then the second part was getting from the Caribbean across to the Bahamas, which was fun. Took us to new islands, the US Virgins, Spanish Virgins, Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic, and then off to the Bahamas, which was, we went right from the eastern side of the Bahamas, Great Inagua, all the way across Long Island, Crooked Island, Long Island, the Exumas, Nassau, Eleuthera, and the Abacos. And it got better and better as we went. I think we learned to manage the shallow water, the skinny water, and the moment we knew we could find eggs everywhere was
eggs are vital in our diet. Yes.
Great relief.
Yeah.
And then crossing from there to the US, we'll start with another low. It was Fort Pierce Inlet. When one gets from the sea into the ICW or into any of the ports in the US, you go through inlets, and we went the Fort Pierce Inlet is a Class A inlet. It's navigable in all weather, and big ships can go in and out of it, but if you get it at the wrong time, like we did, we got it with an outgoing tide and wind opposing the outgoing tide. I mistimed it, and we should have actually bailed and turned around and gone and waited, but we didn't. And it's probably the most terrified I've ever been on a boat, other than the lightning storms. But yeah, we could have broached, we could have rolled the boat. There were big waves. There's probably a 2.5-3 knot current against us, so our progress wasn't good. But once we hit the States, it's been brilliant, and we went in at Fort Pierce, so we missed Miami and Fort Lauderdale and all those the rich fancy spots, and we did that on purpose because Florida doesn't really like yachties. They're doing everything to try and get rid of yachties because they've got a massive problem with people living on boats and not sailing them, because it's cheaper to just put a boat in a waterway and live on it. You don't have to pay your rates and taxes and whatever. And the landowners who have $1 million mansions don't like that. So we went in Fort Pierce and then went north. And I think one of the highlights for me was doing the ICW. We went from Fort Pierce pretty much all the way to Deltaville in the ICW, with two exceptions. We did two sort of 100 nautical mile stretches on the outside. And we probably would have done more on the outside had the weather played ball, but the weather didn't play ball. So we had long days motoring up the ICW, which is shallow and can get very boring, but it was very interesting because you see the other side of America. You see small town America, real America, little towns like
Oriental,
Belhaven, Coinjock, Deltaville, where we are now, and bigger towns like Beaufort and Portsmouth, Charleston. But it was that was amazing, or has been amazing. So it's been a very mixed bag. We made it. Can't believe we're on the hard. I'm still rocking and rolling. But looking forward to get home.
Yeah, looking forward to going home and weddings and new things to look forward to.
What am I looking forward to going home?
What are you looking forward to going home?
Well, last time we were going home, we flew home from Trinidad. In Trinidad, a bottle of wine is 300 Rand a bottle. The cheapest bottle of wine is 300 Rand a bottle. So we were looking forward to wine, and there was very little red meat. So we were looking forward to red meat. Here in the States, wine is reasonably priced. It's still more expensive than South Africa, but it's not stupid. For 300 Rand you can get 4 liters of wine. In fact, for less, for 200 Rand. No, it's about 300 Rand. And meat and all that, so everything you want, you can get. So it's the homecoming this time is very different. but looking forward to seeing family and friends, and our new house, which has not got a stitch of furniture yet.
And we haven't seen it yet.
So we haven't seen it. So that's going to be fun. Okay, so Leo, what are your highlights and lowlights? Start with the highlights.
Okay, start with the highlights. The highlights. Let me think.
What are the lowlights?
The highlights. So I think hooking up with Gumbar was brilliant. I mean, seeing Faye and Ian and meeting up with them in Grenada and sailing up to how far did we sail with them? Guadeloupe with them was awesome, and spending Christmas with them and New Year, because we miss that from back home. It was nice to spend Christmas and New Year with people we knew, and we had such a lekker time. So that was one of my highlights. The Bahamas, to me, there were places I absolutely loved. I loved the remote places, even though the stress of not knowing if we'd find eggs. But just that beautiful blue water and the dolphins that we saw. I loved it. Being able to just swim and snorkel and paddleboard. I really enjoyed the ICW. It was, as Andrew said, it was interesting to see the small town America. It was interesting to see the little towns, and even the days when we just putted down the ICW. Yes, the engine was going all the time, and we could hardly put out the sail, but you saw along the shoreline, it was either big huge houses or trailer parks or these huge expanses of just trees, and the bear crossing swimming across the ICW was amazing. I think also, I don't know what else highlights. No, it's been good.
Orlando was good.
Orlando was good.
Yeah,
Orlando was fun. We thoroughly enjoyed Orlando. I think I enjoyed watching Laura enjoy. Just enjoy it. The joy on her face just made it worthwhile. It was tiring, and the people were tiring, but just it was brilliant. I did enjoy that. The lows, I think I think missing Matthew's birthday was a big low for me. It's not easy to miss out on the big celebrations back home. The electric storms, the thunder, that one coming into I think that was the worst for me.
Deltaville.
To Deltaville. I was actually terrified. With the lightning just hitting the water right next to us. It was the first time since we left South Africa that I actually have been absolutely terrified. Crossing the Atlantic, all the other sailing we've done didn't compare.
It was a breeze.
But we're out on the hard here in Deltaville. All the Villes, I get the Villes mixed up. In Deltaville, we head home in 2 days. We've got 2 more nights.
2 sleeps.
2 sleeps. We head home on Wednesday morning. It's a long trek home. We have a flight to Newark, and then we have a Newark flight to Cape Town, which is 15 hours, I think, with a 6-hour time difference. But and we're heading from, as you can see, we're all in t-shirts and sweating like crazy.
30 degree plus.
30 degree, and it's I think it's 8 o'clock at night now.
Yep.
And it is still hot. And
The
we're
sun's
heading
still-
home to where it's going to be freezing cold.
Not hot.
So that's going to be interesting. But yeah, we're looking forward to the next chapter, Matthew's wedding, and yeah, it's going to be lekker.